Don't judge me because I'm late. Don't judge
Well,
me. I'm late to the party today. I apologize.
right, passing judgment. Yeah, it's interesting when we go passing judgment. I must admit, when I saw that heading, I was like, well, is
Did
it
I
we
re sorry,
just,
did I recommend this back in the day?
yeah, you did.
Okay, I don't know what the purpose was at that time, but I'm curious to see why it came up for you because you obviously have something going on.
There's been some interesting pieces, and it's not been really strong. Well, there's one that's a strong judgment. The others are like just me observing where judgments kind of come in and play a part in our decision making. And that's what I was kind of thought I'd tease out in this. So give a small scenario. Uh, on the board that I'm on, there are 11 people, and it's fairly safe to assume that they're fairly big personalities and can have fairly loud voices.
That's a
And we
judgment,
are
but keep going.
a board of speakers, so a lot of activity. And what I find is that there is judgments and react. When I see a reaction happen, there's a judgment behind it.
Sure.
So there's this judgment of, oh well, no, they haven't got that right. We have to react to that and make it this thing now. And so there's this constant judgments going on, not only in the when reactions happen, but also when somebody gets really passionate about a particular project that they want to have happen, and they it's even in the judgment that their opinion or their motivation behind that project is the answer.
Okay.
And so there's these biases, and then everyone else is, sort of comes around and goes, "Oh, I'm either judging that as good or bad." And there seems to be this nothing in the middle.
Mm.
So there's an immediacy to pass a judgment on something. Like the board environment is like set up for this because it's like, do you vote yes or do you vote no? It's like a black and white. And it's like, oh, where's the nuances?
Hmm.
And so we did have a board meeting recently, and I was just observing that that environment itself asks for black and white, yes or no, judgment for or against. And then I was starting to look at when that happens and how easily we fall into, well, that has to be wrong then, or that has to be right then. Um, there's and then when I was looking at that a little closer, I was like, I'm actually influenced. Like I jump to judgments fairly quickly too. I notice that it depends on who talks to me about something. So if somebody is important to me and they have a bit of an influence on me and they go, oh, I think this person did this thing. I'm actually really quite quick to agree with them. And I don't give the opportunity for it to be some other response. So, got a phone call the other day. This person says to me, "Oh, I can't believe it. This person's gone away and done this thing. That's terrible." And I immediately agreed. So here I am making a judgment on no information other than hearsay. It's gossip. It's
You got one
pure
side of the story.
gossip. Yes. And yet I was so quick to join the judgment train without having any other information to go on. And I was like, wow, how many times do we do this?
Mm.
And how dangerous is that? Because it really paints a picture of individuals or a group of people or in a corner and they have no way of getting out. There's no other option. And I just felt that was worth talking about because judgments are are dangerous. They're dangerous. They're dangerous because now I've got an opinion of something based on no information.
Well, I think it depends on like what's your connection to the story, the topic, or the people involved, right? So like
Yes.
are you invested in them or are you not invested in them?
Well, for the board one, I am invested in them because they're important to me because I work with them on the board. So all of these people are important. And that was what actually allowed me to, for starters, be sucked into the judgment and then also be removed from the judgment because these other the all of the people are important. So yes, the loudest voice at the time was the one I got sucked into, but in actual fact, I need to pay attention to all the other contributing factors and all the other contributing voices. So the circumstance that I'm referring to is we have got as a board, we are looking at providing new VA services that all the board members have access to. And there's judgments and assumptions around why this is necessary, where the VA focus is going to be, who needs to manage that. There's a whole lot of questions around this. And there was just this throwaway, oh, well, if the VA comes in, then this means this. And I got sucked into it really quickly when really we need to pay attention to what everybody needs
Mhm.
and what like what we see right now, like the picture we have in front of us right now may not be the same picture in 6 months' time. And so we need to be able to be flexible that the judgment we make today may not actually apply in 6 months' time. And so, how can we think that through and think beyond the judgments we make? And so, this was the passing judgment thing that I wanted to just make sure that so always when we have these conversations, I, it's very selfish of me because what I want to do is I want to pay attention. I want to have something brought to the front of my mind so that I am dealing with that appropriately and with care and attention.
Well, what's the danger of judgments?
It's only part of the story, I think. That's one of the immediate things I've noticed in the last couple of weeks. And if we've only got a piece of the story, then we don't have the whole book. It's like having one page that's been ripped out of a book.
I also see it as um, judgment as being like a layered effect, like a lens. So like a contact lens. So I've described this now for at least a dozen years, this kind of idea of a lens that we've all been born with a contact lens, but it's been colored, distorted, tinted, and shaped by our parental modeling, the environment we grew up in, the experiences that we had, that kind of thing. They all come in. So we all have a different layer and a different lens. But until we're able to pull it aside and ask questions and try to get clarity around what we believe, everything that comes through that lens is filtered. Judgments, opinions, that's right, that's wrong, that's good, that's bad, you're a horrible person, that's a bad idea. Like all of those are judgments in some capacity, but they're based on what is true for me. Like what's my reality? What's my view?
Y- Yes, and yet we're very influenced through that lens, right?
Right. And if you're very convincing or have a similar lens to a friend of yours, then you can jump on the bandwagon and yeah, you're right. High five. Let's do this or not do this. They're like, we're whatever. Let's do this together. And but somebody who has a different version of that lens or a different viewpoint altogether, you completely clash. You don't see the same thing.
No, and because you're now convinced that your judgment is correct, it's really it can be tough to move.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole idea of echo chambers now, right? Like you seek information and news that speaks to you that you resonate with, that make, whatever. So you just keep repeating and building up that same version, that same lens that you already have. So when you hear
Yes, you
something that's
affirm it.
a different color than that, you're like, whoa, this is wrong. So,
The sky's always been purple. Why are you
so,
telling me it's blue?
so I actually enjoy not calling people out on judgments, but in challenging the ones that show up. So if somebody says, "Yeah, this is the wrong way to go," and I'll be asking, "Okay, well, why is it the wrong way to go? What does that mean to you? Why is that important?" Like getting into the nitty-gritty of what we're all looking for. And I would imagine your committee or your board has everyone's got their own vision of what they want it to be, but it's all built, I'm assuming, on some common footing and values.
It is, absolutely. So there's a commonality with all of the people contributing,
So if
but
you
there's also a different lens.
right, so I think if you can pull back as many layers as you can and be open to there being many different possibilities for things to be or to work out, you can create something that is neither black nor white, but that serves the masses that is a little gray.
Yes. And so the having that flexibility within the outcome,
You and your
having a
flexibility.
flexibility in what you think of either a situation or an individual or a group of people, and not defaulting to, oh, that's going to be terrible, and actually finding a way to go, well, what would be good in it? Like, let's have a look at what all things, all aspects, even if it doesn't agree with your own belief.
Right.
And yeah, and I just this last 3 weeks, there's been a number of circumstances where I have noticed the default. So it's good. I like that I'm having the awareness. I'm dropping into the judgment and then the awareness to go, hang on a minute, why am I doing that? Like why am I automatically going there? And what do I need to do to pull back and look at everything and asking more questions? And the other thing that I've noticed in this is that asking the questions doesn't always bring a definitive answer.
Hmm.
So, and being okay with n not having a definitive answer, because this is the other thing I've noticed is me particularly, but I suspect I'm not the only one, but I like to have a definitive answer. I want to know.
You don't say. Somebody who wants certainty in their life,
Who'd have thought it?
nobody can relate.
And so in my judgment, I want to be definitive. And so
Mm.
that's one of the reasons that I recognized I got on the bandwagons. But really, when I got off the bandwagon, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting on another one. I'm just not, I'm just sitting in this no man's land at the minute. And is that okay? And it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, my life keeps moving along and I'm still in this little bit of a, I describe it as feeling bemused. It's like, I'm not quite
Do I
sure.
need to look up bemused? I don't even know what that means, I don't think.
It's uncertain. It's
Okay.
like I'm puzzled. I don't know. I don't have all the answers yet. I'm not sure what that looks like. I don't know whether I agree with it completely. I don't know what I would do in this. I'm not sure. And there's this uncertainty all the way around it. And I wonder whether it's our need for certainty that draws us into judgment.
I don't know. I don't
I
know. I
love
mean,
it.
I enjoy certainty myself, because I'm a planner and I want things to be the way I expect them to be and that kind of thing. I don't know if judgment is necessarily tied up in that.
Hmm. Well, it's certainly an element for me these last few weeks of realizing that I'm not in certainty. And by being drawn into a judgment, it feels more certain because I've now decided what it is. Where if I pull back from that, I go, oh, I still don't know. I still don't know if this VA is going to be the right thing. I don't know.
Is it a right or like a right or wrong thing? Like being on the right side of the vote? Like is it that? I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then there's that group mentality, right? Well, the rest of the board's saying yes. So I'll just go along with what everyone
Mm.
else says. Right? And I'm using the board as an example because it's a
Yeah, yeah.
small micro example, right? But you go, well, okay, well, everyone else seems to be agreeing with this. So maybe it's probably a good thing. And then it's like, hang on, where's my thought processes in this? Why do I not think it's a good thing? And what can I, what am I still doubtful about?
And what if you're not the only one who ignored that I don't know if I'm on board with this? And the other ones have just been okay because they were convinced by the presentation on why this is such a good idea. What if they need you to voice your concern, questioning, whatever?
Not yet convinced. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how often we don't do that. We just go with the crowd rather than coming back to what you suggested, asking those questions.
I'm imagining myself in a meeting like years ago where actually it probably happened more often than I'd like to admit, where something happens, a decision's made, and we're like, okay, we're good, great. And then the meeting's adjourned and you leave. And as soon as you leave the meeting, you're like, what did we agree to? Are we on board
Yeah.
with that? Does that make sense? Should we be putting up our hand and saying, what about this? But because of authority and confidence and whatever, I think we often let those things. It's like we're more comfortable having the conversation in a more like friendly manner on the side, like a not so formal way to kind of like work out the I don't knows about this whole situation.
Yes. And yet, in that group environment, there's more pressure to conform or to go with the crowd and I mean, we see this play out on a bigger picture, right? Like we see crowd mentality kick in. Um, and it never seems to have a positive outcome. Um, so yeah, a really strong need to make sure that my judgment is in check at the
Mm.
moment. And I don't know. I've been on this planet a while. I come with judgment. I just do. Judge things all the time. I'm not sure it's something I've got a handle on. But I do like to make sure I keep an awareness, a heightened awareness around what it is I am judging.
I I think it's normal that we all have judgments because we all have that lens, right? It's part of us. But when I think what's valuable is if we ever notice ourselves on one end of the spectrum or the other, like really high about something or really not high on something, maybe that's an opportunity to question why am I so high or why am I not on
Yes,
board
why are
with
you
this?
on board or not on board, and
Yeah, like
what's the real issue
what's
there?
getting to me, or what am I so on board with that? Okay, maybe there's something here also on the ends of the spectrum.
Yes, because our gut instinct might be right, but it mightn't be against it might be for us to navigate on an individual level rather than it just being blatant. So the VA, as an example, is that part of the idea is that the board can become more strategic and less operational.
Mm.
And so the VA would take on more operational. But in the process of onboarding, everyone has to get down and dirty because we have to teach the VA and there will be teething problems. And they're an offshore VA. And that's my concern is how much energy and time it will take
And
for
by and
individuals.
by whom, and what does that look like? And if there's challenges, how are they resolved? Like there's a lot that's possible there.
right? Which comes back to this uncertainty in me going, well, I can't be certain. And then it's that fear of, am I going to be able to show up for what is required? And what are you really asking of me? And am I willing to go there? And those questions are not fully articulated, and the answers, so therefore the answers can't be articulated yet.
Right. So if you don't have the questions to ask, you don't have the answers to answer them, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
maybe it's maybe it doesn't have to be decided now, but maybe there needs to be ongoing discussion where the input is allowed and it's encouraged that you're questioning and having conversations and brainstorming ideas and things like that.
And sitting in the uncertainty and the unknownness and I haven't quite got, I can't quite grab hold of what this is yet, and being okay in that limbo.
Hmm.
And that's feels really uncomfortable. Just
Okay.
saying, it
Okay,
does.
I won't pass judgment. That's fine.
Awesome. You will, but that's okay. Yeah, it's that so yes, so it's just navigating this uncertainty and default to heading to a judgment and giving permission to pull back.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think giving yourself a little bit of grace and staying in that uncertain space for now until something becomes more certain.
More information is revealed, better questions can be asked, all of those things. Yeah.
And with a willing group that are willing to have those conversations.
Yes,
Yeah,
regardless about how uncomfortable they are.
there you go.
Here we go.
Yeah,
There was my little navigation of the last 3 weeks. It's all about the judgments.